Welcome to Secrets in the Shadows. I'm Charlotte, and today we take a deep dive into a case that intertwines faith, betrayal, and a quest for justice, the story of Pastor Timothy Dane Tillman. A pastor, a devoted wife, a perfect family, or so it seemed. But behind the scenes, darkness lurked. A chilling gunshot shattered the silence of a peaceful Alabama home, leaving a community in shock and a daughter without her mother. Was this truly an accident, or was it cold-blooded murder? Janet Tillman was a 40-year-old woman who dedicated her life to her family and faith. Known for her kind heart and unwavering support of her husband's ministry, she was loved by those around her. Janet was a devoted wife and mother, often described as the glue that held her family together. Her friends recall her as a warm, welcoming presence, someone who never hesitated to help those in need. But beneath the surface, was she hiding secrets of her own? Had she sensed something sinister looming within her home? This case remains one of the most debated murder trials in Alabama's history. Was Timothy Tillman, a grieving husband caught in a web of circumstantial evidence, or a master manipulator who meticulously planned his wife's death? Today, we explore the facts, the lies, and the shocking truth. In the quiet town of Vincent, Alabama, Pastor Timothy Dane Tillman was more than just a spiritual leader. He was a cornerstone of the community, leading his congregation with passion and dedication. He was admired for his commitment to his faith and his family. His wife, Janet Tillman, stood by his side, embodying the virtues of a devoted pastor's wife. Those who knew them described their marriage as mostly stable, though not without its challenges. Friends and fellow church members said that Timothy and Janet often appeared happy together, but there were occasional whispers of strain behind closed doors. Some accounts suggest that Janet had suspicions about Timothy's behavior, though she never openly confronted him. Their relationship, while seemingly solid to outsiders, may have been under more stress than most people realized. The couple had a daughter, Tiffany, who was present in the house at the time of the incident. While she did not witness the shooting firsthand, she later testified in court about the events leading up to that night. Tiffany's life was forever altered by the tragedy, as she lost both parents in the blink of an eye, her mother to death and her father to the prison system. On October 26, 2005, in the quiet town of Vincent, Alabama, a horrific crime shattered the tranquility of the Tillman household. It was a seemingly normal evening, until a gunshot rang out, sending shockwaves through the community. Timothy Tillman later told authorities that the shooting was an accident. He claimed he had just returned home from a church turkey shoot and was carrying a shotgun inside when it suddenly discharged. However, details emerged that raised suspicions. Earlier that day, Timothy had gone hunting with friends. The shotgun in question had reportedly malfunctioned during the outing, refusing to fire properly. Witnesses later testified that they attempted to use the weapon, but it wouldn't work. Timothy then allegedly told the group that he would take the shotgun home and see if he could fix it. Hours later, that very same gun was used in the fatal shooting of his wife, Janet. Janet Tillman, 40, was found lying on the floor with a fatal gunshot wound in her chest. Their daughter, Tiffany, was inside the home but did not witness the shooting directly. She later testified about the moments leading up to her mother's death. The first person to see Janet alive that evening was Timothy himself. However, neighbors reported hearing loud voices and what seemed to be an argument coming from the house just before the gunshot. Was this a tragic accident, or had tempers flared into something far more sinister? The crime was discovered when Timothy called 911, claiming his wife had been shot. Emergency responders arrived to find a chaotic scene. Timothy appeared distraught, but investigators noted inconsistencies in his account almost immediately. Blood spatter patterns and the positioning of Janet's body did not align with an accidental discharge. As paramedics pronounced Janet dead at the scene, law enforcement began piecing together the timeline. They quickly realized that this case was far more complex than a mere household accident. As the investigation progressed, a startling revelation came to light. Timothy was leading a double life. Evidence showed that he had proposed to his mistress just 2 months before Janet's death, all while maintaining his pastoral duties and marriage. To his mistress, he portrayed himself as a decorated naval officer, a stark contrast to his pastoral identity. This duplicity raised suspicions about his true motives. Further investigations uncovered a financial component. In February 2001, a life insurance policy had been issued for Janet Tillman, with Timothy named as the primary beneficiary. Prosecutors suggested this could have provided a financial motive for the murder. If Janet were gone, Timothy would not only be free to be with his mistress, but also stand to gain financially. Phone records also showed frequent communication between Timothy and his mistress, some occurring just hours before Janet's death. This painted a picture of a man eager to leave his current life behind, potentially at any cost. Was Janet's death purely about money, or was it a crime fueled by passion, betrayal, and a desire for a fresh start? Investigators now had to prove whether this was an unfortunate accident or a cold and calculated plan. The case went to trial, where prosecutors argued that Timothy had intentionally killed his wife to be with his mistress. They highlighted his deceit and the premeditated nature of the act. The defense maintained that the shooting was a tragic accident. The jury, swayed by the evidence of his double life, found him guilty of murder, and he was sentenced to life in prison. His prior criminal history also surfaced during the proceedings. Before moving to Alabama, Timothy had pleaded guilty to solicitation of a prostitute while living in Minnesota. This prior conviction was considered by the prosecution to establish a pattern of deceit. However, the legal journey was far from over. The Alabama Court of Criminal Appeals overturned Timothy's conviction, citing that unrelated charges had been improperly combined with the murder charge. Specifically, evidence of forgery, Timothy signing his deceased wife's name on an unsolicited check, was deemed prejudicial and unrelated to the murder case. This decision granted him a new trial. While incarcerated, Timothy maintained his innocence, claiming he was wrongly convicted. Psychological evaluations conducted in prison noted signs of manipulative behavior and a lack of remorse. Some prison officials stated that he carried himself with the same charisma he once used in the pulpit, influencing fellow inmates. His behavior behind bars became a topic of debate. Was he truly a victim of a wrongful conviction, or was he a man who had carefully crafted his own narrative? The case of Timothy Tillman leaves us with many questions. Was this truly an accident, or was it a carefully calculated crime driven by financial motives and the desire to be with another woman? The jury believed the latter, convicting him not once, but twice. However, questions still linger. Was justice truly served? For those closest to Janet, the pain of losing her remains unbearable. Their daughter, Tiffany, lost both parents in one night. her mother to a gunshot wound, and her father to the prison system. The church community, once devoted to Timothy, was left in shock and disbelief, grappling with the revelation that the man they trusted had betrayed them most devastatingly. But now, we turn the question to you. Do you believe Timothy Tillman was guilty beyond a doubt, or do you think the evidence left room for uncertainty? Could this have been an accident, as he claimed, or was it an intentional act of betrayal? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this case compelling, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Secrets in the Shadows for more deep dives into the most chilling and mysterious true crime stories. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and keep searching for the truth.